know there's only 5 months left, but I can do it.
I actually have this book.
There's more stupid. Are you on the beach, Rothrin? Where did all the time go? Hello everyone, and welcome back to Grayson's Bookmark. Here on this channel, I make all types of writing and bookish content, and today's video is both. Today I'm bringing you a new type of video on my channel, although not a 4-in-1 to AuthorTube. It is a monthly wrap-up video. I really like watching these kinds of update videos on AuthorTube, so I figured that I wanted to do one as well. But yeah, they just make me so happy, like so fulfilled. It's like, feels like a lot of, I'm getting a nice little package of information. It's a nice type of video to watch, and so I wanted to make one. So today I'm going to be talking about the exciting adventures I had in July, the books I read, and the things I wrote, in that order. Stick around to see what I've been up to, and without further ado, let's get into it. So the first section of this video, let's call it side quests. I want to talk about the little adventures or things I did that were like more than just me writing in my office. In the beginning of July, I took a weekend in the mountains, and it was very green, very rainy and humid. It was a little bit colder than it is here in the middle of North Carolina. I remember being very sweaty and it raining a lot. It had good vibes. I'm sure I'm showing you clips of it right now. I did lots of hiking, physical activity. But it was good. It was a good time. Unfortunately, I did not use the landscape for inspiration, but it was like a nice weekend to recharge. I got a new car, like my first car that's like mine, and I really like it. Her name is Susie. Thought y'all should know that. In July, I also did a little side quest to a coffee shop slash bookstore, and by that I mean they were like right next to each other, so how could you not? But I got myself some nice used books and a little I think I had like a egg and cheese bagel, and that was it. And that's a very, very important detail that you should know. I might post that little trip to the coffee shop as like just a little adventure video. I'll think about it. But anyway, here are some clips from when I went to that thrift store slash coffee shop. I got a book on vampirism, and I hope that will eventually be useful to me when I actually sit down to write a vampire project. It won't be anytime soon, but I do have it. I've also been trying to teach myself guitar. Guitar randomly. So these nails are really long and these nails are short because I learned very quickly that you can't play guitar with long nails. Don't worry, this is not becoming a guitar channel. I've been playing for about a week now, and I've learned a few ways to play some chords, but I will play you the ones that I actually know how to play. Here's G. In July, I also hosted 4 live streams. Like, who am I? Yeah, I just randomly decided to start a live stream on Friday afternoon, 3 to 5 p.m. And then I said I was gonna do it the next week, and then I did it 2 weeks after that. And it just turned into 4 weeks in July for Camp Nano, and like, it was so nice. I really enjoyed spending time with people, writing and chatting with them, and just like connecting. I got to show my card collection, although you gotta be there for the live streams to find out what that's about. I'm planning on hosting 2 more in August, at least before my school starts in August. I think there are just 2 more Fridays before I start grad school. So I'm gonna be hosting live streams 3 to 5 p.m. here on this channel. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Subscribe if you want those to show up in your subscription box. I have no idea how my schedule is gonna expand in the second half of August with my grad school, but stay tuned, and thank you for your patience as I try to figure it all out again. Side quests aside, let's talk about the books I read this month. My channel isn't really a book review channel, so I don't want to talk about every single book I read this month. But I want to talk about the ones that really resonated with me, really got me going. So this is like the highlights. And the first book I want to talk about is Iron Widow by Jiran J. Zhao. A little plot to start out with, because sometimes I forget. But we're in a Chinese-influenced dystopian sci-fi kind of thing. And the main character's older sister has been sacrificed for the sake of the war against the Wind Twins, which are like, I'm not really sure where they are. They're like, you know in Galaga, when you're like, the thing you're shooting at, they look like little aliens. In my head, that's what a wind twin looks like. But the main character's older sister has been sacrificed in the war by being the chi source or the power source for these big chrysalises, think Pacific Rim, and the main character is on a journey to revenge her older sister's death by enlisting for the army, and she plans to kill the pilot that killed her. And she does. Quite quickly, she achieves this goal, and it's quite surprising. Like, you would expect this conflict to take the entire book, but no, that's only the first hurdle to get over. The story was so violent, but in an aggressively feminist way that was so like addicting to read. I support women's wrongs. Like, that was the phrase that was going through my head while I read this, because the main character Zaitan is so like unapologetically like, no, this is what I'm doing, and yet she's also physically weakened. Like, half the book she's in a wheelchair, but the book just thinks the book accepts it, like it's fine. Like, she's still just as powerful as she used to be. She just has to be in a wheelchair now, like, big deal. And like, she's allowed to be feminine, and she's also allowed to love. And it's such a, like, the vibes are like 10 out of 10 on this book. The main character like carves her personality from everything that's thrown at her, and it's just perfect. And the statements this book makes about self-sacrifice and the patriarchy and femininity, love and greed, shame, just like 10 out of 10. If you have not read this book yet, you really should. I read the audiobook, which meant that the characters' names didn't really solidify in my head that well. I know I had to look up the main character's name to talk about it, but I do remember the two boys in the book, and that's Shu Mi and Yi Ju. That's about all. Audiobook's great. This author has also announced the second book, and they said it's gonna come out like next year, and I'm so excited for it. Moving on, let's talk about the second book, which is Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lo. This also happens to be like a Chinese influenced book. Although this one is historical fiction set in San Francisco in the 1950s. Our main character, Lily Hu, is 17, and she finds herself drawn to this club and this girl in her class called Kathleen, and they end up going together and forming a kind of like love/friendship/ this is also confusing for Lily, and this book is a journey of her like figuring out her identity and also like dealing with like the social climate of the 1950s. And the way this author just uses figurative language to show emotion just like really, it made me pause. Like, I had to just let it sit with me. Like, there's one point like our main character has a realization, and the author is like, it rang through her head like someone like ringing the doorbell over and over and over again, like how long, and I was like, oh, that's such a good descriptor, and I wanted to steal it, but I'm not going to overtly. It's literary, but in an approachable and a profound way, and you should really read it if you haven't already. The audiobook was also very nice to listen to. Also, Melinda Lo's newsletter is called Lo and Behold, and that's amazing. That was all the encouragement I needed to sign up. Anyway, I give both of these books 5 stars. And that is all for the book section. Let's move on, take a hard left turn into what I wrote for July. It was quite a few things. I found myself very busy. In the beginning of July, I was working on a project called Project Popstar. There is a playlist for that project in this channel, although it's not very many videos yet. I don't know when I'm going to get back to it, but here's the deal. So I started out July with the best intentions that I was going to get a lot of work done on Project Popstar. And to be fair, like, I did get some work done, but once my beta reader feedback came back to me, it was a complete shift. I was like, nope, gotta do Seaside now. Project Popstar is a YA/NA book about the music industry and a band and a girl that gets like tied up in their drama and consequences of that. And it's very, as of yet to be realized in my head, what I'm actually going for. So I don't think I'm gonna put it down until I feel like I've given it its fair shot. But for now, it is on hold while I work on Seaside, which is a great segue into what happened with Seaside in July. I shifted gears right in the middle of a live stream. It was on camera, and I looked through all of my beta reader feedback, and it took me a few days, like I'd say a good 3-day weekend. I have a video of me starting Seaside Draft 4. It is in the description if you want to check that out. I think it's a good video. Like, I had a lot of things to process about what the heck I was gonna do with so many opinions, and so I took several pages of notes, just like thoughts after finishing, character arcs, side characters, balance of point of view chapters, things to change, loose threads, things that are unconvincing, and just like things that I want to keep going with. And it's a lot. And it was very helpful. A lot to sift through though. And so at the end of that video that I just mentioned, I was beginning chapter 8, and I am pleased to report that I am now in the middle of chapter 20. It is currently July 30th, so I've been keeping pace, but I did just realize that if I have 30 more chapters-ish to go and 30 days in August, then that is a chapter a day, or, you know, roughly 2,000 words a day, which is a bit worrying to revise, especially since I'm going to be starting grad school. We'll see what happens. I really, really hope I can make it to the end before August, and I really hope to work a lot, as much as I can of it, before grad school. I want to get this thing done. I want to hurry up already. This draft 4 is not going to be like just a little brush up. It's like major things are happening, and that's good, but it also takes a lot of effort. So I'm just trying to stay positive, keep momentum. I feel like I did really level up my writing skill recently in learning how to keep the chain of causality throughout the chapters. Like, things should, you know, cause each other and be realistic, and often the simplest plot point is the one that you should use. So I'm working on that. I'm not giving up on finishing this book this year. I know there's only 5 months left, but I can do it. And finally, as a final note, I want to highlight the articles I wrote this month for JUVEN Press. I have been a writer for this organization since May 2021, so well over a year by now. I wrote 4 articles for July, excuse me while I look them up. I wrote Write Memorable Characters by Keeping It Weird. That book is about giving characters just things, attributes, hobbies, characteristics to keep them memorable in a reader's mind. I made an article called What Are the Odds? Your Chances in Traditional Publishing, which is exactly what you think it might be, but the outcome is not as poor as you might think. I tried to be realistic in the article with what your chances are if you're a serious writer and you're querying and you're trying to get published. And so, like, give that one a read if you're interested in traditional publishing. I also did the obligatory Camp Nano post, so how to win Camp July in 2022. And the one I just wrote that's not out yet, but I will update the description when it is out, is how to tackle your TBR. So, like, ways to just read more and get that bookshelf ratio of unread to read books a little more even. If you want to know a hot tip is to listen to audiobooks. Okay, I think that's everything. I think that's all for this update. Lots of adventures, reading and writing. I'm currently also reading some fantasy books, listening to Uprooted right now. It's pretty good. How do people end these videos? I guess I should have done a little bit more research before I started this. Update me on what went down for you in July. Did you get any writing done? Did you find a new favorite book? Or what other little side quests did you assign for yourself in July? Let me know in the comments down below, and like this video if you want to see more like it. I definitely liked it. This was fun. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I can't reach though, so fade to black.